Hey, my name is Julie Anderson. Thank you for being here. So, is it worth it to do a live video even if you're having a rough day? I've been super lucky. I've been going live every day for going on 3 years now, and this is one of the first, it's not one of the first, but it's definitely one that's really, really challenging me. Things can happen really fast, right? So, I have a cat, rescued him from Mexico, and he does have a kidney issue. And I've had two other cats pass away from kidney issues. I know what's coming. I know what will eventually happen. And at the same time, I'm in denial about it. And I'm aware of all this happening at the same time, right? And I see, since COVID hit, Little Tiger's medicine, you can't buy it anymore. And so he's like stopped eating, and I know where this is going to go, right? It's just a matter of when. And, when we got him, it was like, if I had a few weeks with him, that was going to be fine. And it's been 2.5 years. And I don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is I sure as fuck don't want to be doing a live video right now. And is it worth it? I don't know. I think it might be, because I know there is a power when I see somebody showing up. It makes me realize that I can do something as well, right? So that's why I'm doing this. And I don't want to have any tips or advice. I know if you feel moved to, I appreciate you, but don't. Where I'm at right now, I'll just delete the comment, or I just won't respond to it, right? So I do appreciate you, but I'm human. And I don't want to be told what to do, right? I just want to spend time with him. So what I did today, where it's like, is it worth it to show up? I decided that I was going to go on to someone's Facebook and leave them a really nice comment before I came on live. And I made a thoughtful, meaningful, positive comment to show them that I appreciate them. And so that's what I'm in the 14-day challenge, but I don't want to do a call to action tonight, because I don't want anybody reaching out to me. So what I would like you to do, if you're watching this, after this is done, I would like you to go onto Facebook and go find somebody that you like, a friend, maybe somebody that you've never commented on before. And I'd like you to leave a really positive, awesome comment for them, and just let them know that you see them and that you appreciate them, and that maybe their last post has lifted you up, and that you've noticed them posting, positive stuff, and that you just want to say, you know what, hey, I see you, and I really like what you are adding to the world. And thank you for watching. I appreciate you. That was me. November 7th, 2020. I was still in multi-level marketing. I think that just seeing how I was behaving in that video clip explains a lot more than I could ever put into words. I've made a lot of videos here on YouTube, a lot more on TikTok, exposing what goes on in multi-level marketing in these cults and what we're made to do. We don't see what we're doing. It's weird looking back at my videos and hearing me describe the scam that I'm in without actually realizing what I'm saying. When I make content and I'm speaking out against multi-level marketing companies, I'm doing this with this is in my background. This was who I was. This is what I did. And there's a lot of things that I'm never going to talk about. And I think that it's important for you to understand why a lot of survivors being in multi-level marketing will never speak out. People do a lot of horrible things when they just get a little bit of attention and a little bit of power. You can just look. This doesn't have to be with multi-level marketing. You take that kind of behavior and then you put it into one of these cults, and it's like, what can you make people do? It's clear from that video. I didn't want to do it. I didn't leave until just over a year later. Later that month, in November, my little cat did die. And the day he died is I was onboarding a new market partner from Monat, if you can fucking believe it. I'd stayed up all night because I knew this was going to be his last night. I had arranged with the vet to come over to our house, and we were going to, be there when he passed away. And I had to take a call. So excited to recruit a new market partner. So I'd spent the whole night with him on my lap. He kept trying to leave and just find privacy, and I didn't want to. I wanted to spend as much time as I could with him. But in the morning, I had to do that phone call, and I went out and I sat out in my car. So it's like the last moments of his life, I chose to sit out in my car on this phone call with a new market partner, not even talking about what was going on, just indoctrinating her, welcoming her to the team, I came back in and I couldn't find him anywhere. And I was worried. I thought, oh no, where did he go? And he was hiding behind the toilet. His little body, it was frail. Like he was. That came over and then it was done. We said goodbye, I still did a live video every day. I did a live video that night. Or that day, I hiked up to the top of this mountain. I took just a video, I still showed up every single day. All the rest of November, December, January, February, March. It was the middle of March 2021. I decided not to do a live video anymore, and I'd done one every day for 3.5 years, at least one. I think something else that you need to understand about this video is that I was also part of the cult called Rank Makers, which is when I came out swinging, making a lot of anti-MLM content. And I think a lot of people still don't understand what it was so many of us have been part of. I know when I began speaking out, I wasn't believed. I was mocked. Even, people in, just out there, people were gracious enough to listen and support me. But a lot of people are like, you're making too much content about this, Julie. And I'm like, what the fuck do you think I'm supposed to do? I'm exposing a cult. Can you imagine saying this to somebody else coming out of another cult? Oh, you're talking too much about the cult that you're exposing. It's hard to put into words what we've been through. When this was our behavior, I get the irony of making a video 4 years ago when I didn't want to make a video, and now here I am 4 years later. I'm on the outside and I'm showing the video that I didn't want to make, and it's like clear I'm upset about this. It's almost the same thing. I'm doing a video that I really don't want to do, and what is the purpose? These similarities exist inside and outside cults. How we behave, the same concepts. Everywhere you go, there you are. Become the best version of yourself. It's stained, though, when you're in multi-level marketing and then you leave. Be vulnerable. I was being vulnerable. I'm being vulnerable now. It's hard to talk about this stuff. The reason why I wanted to do this video is there's no other way that I can do this. I believe that I needed to show you this, because this video clip was sent to me by someone, thank you very much, and it's from somebody else who's in Monat. So if you think 4 years later, this is still going on in Monat, and this could be any multi-level marketing company. This person has lost her pet. And like my just deepest condolences to her. And she still has to show up for her business. It doesn't matter how high up the pyramid scheme you are, how much money you're making. We all behave the same. And I believe that she is making a lot of money, but she's just behaving the exact same way I was. We're doing things that we don't want to do. We think that this is the way that you need to show up to inspire your team. Whether you have one recruit or whether you have 100, we behave the same way. And I just feel so deeply sorry for her. I've obscured her identity and her face, and there's a number of like clips. It's from her stories, her Instagram stories. And there's some slides near the end where I'll just read out to you what the caption says. I don't want to show who she is, because I believe, just like how I was, I really believed I was part of something. Like, it wasn't real. And it hurts to see people still getting sucked into these scams, these cults, and they're just behaving the same way that I did, all these years later. And this goes back before I was even in Monat, back all the way to Amway. And it's the same story. You've heard one story, you've heard them all. So with that said, knowing what you know a little bit more about me now and my background, how I did all these videos, there's a lot more to the story. I've done a lot of interviews about this. And this clip, actually, a portion of this was on the Canada Commons podcast documentary about multi-level marketing and cults. They did a really good job. One of the few like journalists that actually call MLMs cults, which I am so grateful for, calling them out for what they are, not saying, oh, they're cult-like or they're culty or they're cultish. They're fucking cults. And I'm so grateful, you know, for people like that give survivors, victims, you know, coming forward, that acknowledgement that we're believed, you know, because the truth is right in front of your face, and it's just really uncomfortable for people to handle. They're like, no, it couldn't possibly be a cult because I now have to reconcile what I think is a cult as opposed to what actually is, what all these people are telling me, you know. So, okay, I've gone on long enough. This is intense, and thank you for, you know, watching up to this part so far. And this is the video clip that I'm gonna react to. And I really hope this person gets out. I hope she leaves multi-level marketing and heals and is able to forgive herself, because what we were made to do in multi-level marketing, it's wrong. You should be able to take time off for grief. You should not be, it's wrong that we believe that you have to show up even when somebody dies. And when a loved pet dies, it's part of your family, you know, the poor little thing, you know. There's one more thing that I wanted to mention before I show you this series of clips from her Instagram stories, is that we're left to reconcile and heal from this. And it's all the more challenging for people involved in multi-level marketing, because it's considered a legitimate business, and that that failure is your fault. And so you're left with so much confusion of trying to unpick the programming, the indoctrination, the behavior that we did, which is like, how do you take accountability for something that you were a victim of, and then you also became a perpetrator of? It's not even just describing that. It doesn't address the nuances and complexities of being involved in this thing, because society at large is confused about multi-level marketing. I made a video just the other day showing a person in multi-level marketing saying that Jesus is the founder of MLMs. Have people in the comments believing that Jesus is the founder of MLMs, that religion is just like MLMs. You know, and then you have people that say, well, no, multi-level marketing companies are legitimate because they sell products. These are people that are anti-MLM. They still don't understand it. There's people that are like against multi-level marketing that are in denial that these things are cults. They're like, which is the worst one? And I'm thinking, man, if you think of like, you've lined up all these victims of abuse and you say, well, I don't really see this as a problem because you sold makeup, but this multi-level marketing company, no, I can see this one has abuse. You don't even know what people out there, they're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. And that's not an exaggeration. So, I mean, I think sometimes it's just better off just for you to see a video clip instead of me commenting on it, because I don't know how else to comment on my experience. And yet here I am like rambling on. No matter how bad things get, Monat, whatever multi-level marketing company you're in, it will come first. It has to come first because it's a cult. Here's this video clip.
I don't know how I'm doing this, but grief is a funny thing. There's moments where I feel really strong, and then there's moments that everything just comes rushing over me all over again. But today I'm putting on my big girl pants. Adam's gone to a job, and I need to feel some sense of normality. And I know tomorrow is going to be a really, really hard day because tomorrow is Jackson's birthday. It's fucked. Whew. But I told myself that I would attempt to get on here today, and if I couldn't keep it together, I would stop and try again tomorrow or the next day or the next day. But the reality is life keeps on going, and I feel like parts of me getting stronger as the days go. But fuck me, has the past 48 hours or however long it's been, it feels like it's been weeks, has been really, really hard. Like really hard. But he's in a much better place. That poor darling could have been suffering for such a long time and we didn't even know. And, you know, we're at a point where we can look at photos and smile and laugh. Dogs are seriously the most beautiful thing. Like, we don't even deserve them as humans. But they just, every single dog deserves to have the best life, and to be loved and to be cared for. And I know one day we'll all get another doggo. But for now, we soldier on and we think of all the good times, and yeah, it's going to come in waves. It's going to come in waves. And if you have ever lost something or someone, whether it's a pet or a person, or it's a crazy thing to feel. Like I said to Adam the other day, when I'm not thinking of Jax, I feel numb. And then Jax is the only thing that makes me feel something, even though it hurts. So I'm going to, put my big girl pants on. I said in my stories yesterday that I felt so grateful that I was able to quit my 9-to-5 job and have a job that allowed me to work from home, because every day I got to spend with him. And I'm so thankful for that. And I love that, you know, my type of work that I do, I can step away when I need to. The only downfall is that I do have to show up online to continue bringing in an income to pay for our bills, to pay for groceries. You know, coming into Christmas, Adam has less work. So, you know, it is hard. But, yeah, it is what it is. And I don't know. I don't know. So speaking of work, I haven't been in my messages. I'm sorry if you have messaged me or you've needed help at all. The promo that we had for people being able to sign up with $70 off product packs is over, but
I need to just interrupt this. This is a lot. When we're in a cult, we think that we're told that you must show up. This is the only way to run the business. Like, you must show up if you're at the top of the pyramid scheme. You must show up if you're at the bottom of the pyramid scheme. Of course, we're not saying that we're in the pyramid scheme, but you haven't achieved achieved time and money freedom yet. That you can see, there is never any time and money freedom, even in this most hard times of your life. You shouldn't be on social media talking about it. But when we're in a cult, we think that this is really like putting on your big girl panties, like she said, that this is supposed to be a display of emotional maturity. This isn't a display of emotional maturity. It's a display of denying your emotions and suffocating them and subjugating yourself to the cult. Not being able to just take time off and grieve, but have to talk to the public and post about this most intimate and devastating. This is, your heart is broken. And it's like, it's going to be coming in waves. But there was this other thing that I had heard on TikTok, which really landed with me. It was almost, they show it's like a box and there's a button, and the grief ball bounces around, and initially the ball is really huge and it doesn't matter where it bounces in this box, it's always hitting that grief button. And then over time the ball kind of shrinks, it gets smaller, but it still is banging around, and just every once in a while, man, it hits that button and it just takes you out. And it doesn't matter when it is, it can just, because it's banging around in there, it doesn't seem to follow any kind of logical predictability. Sometimes on the anniversary of a death, it can. I noticed that with me. I noticed when my dad passed away, it's the same, like almost the same day of each month, I would start feeling these feelings in my body. And I thought, well, what's going on here? And I'm like, oh my God, it's the same day. And you almost marvel at how your body is responding like this, but on the outside, people looking into this isn't time and money freedom. This isn't attractive. It's not thinking, wow, I really want to do this. This is the way to make money online. That even in your grief, you don't have the respect for yourself and to just take time away. There's things that you don't need to be talking about on social media. And the delusion that these cults push, that every piece and corner of our lives needs to be public, it's wrong. And it's dangerous. It's not just dangerous to like people out there, but it's dangerous to ourselves because it erodes our identity. We don't have any boundaries. We don't even know how to make boundaries. And I feel for this person so deeply. I'm so sorry about her loss. And I was where she was. And because she's making a lot of money, I think she's somebody that is making a lot of money. It's going to be all the more difficult for her to realize that her experience is, it's not because of just how hard she works, although she can be working very hard. The money that she is making is the losses of the people below her. And she's also modeling the behavior that she expects her downline to have. So when people go through some other kind of experience similar, they lose somebody or they lose a pet, they will be expected to also show up for their business because look at me, I'm making way more money than you, and I'm able to do what it takes and you're not. And so people at all levels, at all different ranks throughout Monat and other pyramid schemes that are doing this, they're left to also heal from this. You can't get this time back. This wasn't given to you. This Monat participant talking about how, thank goodness I had time. You don't have the time because you don't even have the ability to take time away to grieve for your pet.
I know I have had a lot of people that had been wanting to try the products, and they've been hanging out for Black Friday sales. So as of today, there is sales, like Black Friday sales running until Saturday night. I believe, I haven't gone through the T's and C's, but I believe it is up to 50% off with a layering type sale. So you get your already VIP discounts, and then you're also getting 25% off site-wide, and then
this is the sale that I'd always talk about too, because you'd actually save a lot of money, like how she said layering it. I never used that terminology, but it was deceptively really a good sale. And multi-level marketing products are often overpriced, and the sale is really just bringing it down to what the cost should probably be. But be that as it may, it would say the Black Friday sale would be 25% off, which doesn't sound impressive. However, it wasn't just this 25% discount, because it was 25% in addition to all these other discounts that if you were a VIP or you're a market partner, you'd get all these discounts on top of discounts. So it's making it complicated. And I would go live in my Facebook group and also my team group to remind all my market partners that, remember, this is, a really great sale. It sounds like it's not, but it really is. Give people an example of how much money they can save. Place an order yourself, take screenshots of your cart and post it in your stories, that kind of thing. And I'd also go live in my customer group
And I would do the same thing and explain and remind everybody. So even in her grief, there's going to be people that are going to be sending her messages saying, I'm so sorry for your loss. And she's going to feel compelled to respond to everybody. Although, thank goodness she did take a little bit of time not responding to messages. But the typical response for multi-level marketing participants is that you can't take your foot off the gas. As you can see, this is, her little doggy has just passed away, and now it's on to Black Friday sales. And you just have to like weave in every part of your life. Monat has to take the priority. Multi-level marketing has to take the priority.
Getting a further 15 to 25% off on top of that with purchase plus discount. So if you have been someone that's been hanging for one of these sales, or you're an existing customer who has been waiting to stock up and just waiting for a sale announcement, giving the time of year that it is, now's obviously a really good time, and I want to feel some sense of normality, so I'm really going to get a little bit.
That choice of words is really telling to me too, because it's like you want to actually stop feeling, getting back to normal. And I understand that if you're not in a cult, doing something productive can make you feel better. It's getting your mind off the grief, just some kind of distraction. However, this isn't just that. This is, she's in a cult. She's quite high up, I believe, in this pyramid scheme. She feels she has an obligation to show up for her team. She believes she's modeling the right behavior and leadership skills to then in turn develop other leaders on her team. She feels that she owes her team to show up like this. She probably feels like she owes it to the people who have been waiting for this sale to drop to then buy. She feels she owes that, but she feels that she doesn't owe herself anything. She puts herself last.
More distracted today. My hair is disgusting. I have not washed it in I don't know how long, so I'm going to wash my hair. The sun's been...
What I wanted to say about getting back to some kind of normality is that it's just feeling that toxic positivity in the cult. Then I've got a purpose. I'm going to talk about Monat products. I'm going to talk about this Black Friday sale. I'm going to be doing training probably with my team, encouraging them to talk about the Black Friday sale. I'm going to do everything to distract myself and put the cult first, swallowing up my identity and my grief, which is sacred. This cult should take a back seat right now, and that's the thing with these cults. As soon as you take time away from them, you start to wake up. People eventually, they get right back in. It might take them a long time for that process to finally see what they're a part of. But even in their grief, having to show up on social media like this doesn't make me want to buy a product. And I think more and more people, if they haven't been exposed to multi-level marketing, they're going to be coming across content like the ones that I'm making here. Survivors speaking out, showing who we were, how we behaved, and we're confronting it and we're owning it. And we're putting it out there to warn others and to help those who are waking up to realize that they're not alone and that they don't have to speak out if they don't want to. If you do, that's great, if not, no big deal. But it's extremely difficult to do this, and thinking that you need to just get right back into business and as this is normal is off-putting. People don't want to make a purchase to endorse this kind of behavior. Coming across this, if I was ever on the fence of buying a product, this would put me off. I don't want to support a business that does this to its participants and that this is considered normal.
To be out, so I might take myself back down to the beach, probably go visit Adam at the house that he's working at. I just like to get out of the house as much as possible, but today's the first day that I'm staying here alone, and working will make me feel better. I know it will. It will distract me. So if you are wanting to jump on this, please shoot me a message. I'll pop some slides up.
Times and places. I can't talk about this anymore. I can't do the rest of the video. I just don't have it in me. I don't want it. I don't want to. I want to see her get out. And I say this in a lot of videos over and over and over again. I want to see them get out. I want to see them get out. I don't know what else to say. It's not simple. It's not straightforward. It's not black and white. It's the difficulty, the complexity is compounded by, you know, society at large not understanding how dangerous these things are, and that there's not like levels of abuse to tell to someone, you know, well, this multi-level marketing company doesn't seem this bad, or it's so much. I don't know how to talk about this stuff. And yet I know that survivors, people that have been in this, our voices need to be heard. More of us, if you can, need to come forward. Our perspective, our experiences needs to be broadcast, because this is the real experience. This isn't, you know, people on the outside, academics that are encouraging people to join multi-level marketing companies, downplaying, ignoring, denying that this abuse even happens. We don't need that. We need people to have the courage to call these things what they are, and not to buy in to the denial that what these things are, which they are cults and they are fraud. So there you go. This was a doozy. I don't have a clue how to sign off of this one. This took me by surprise when this person sent me this piece of content, and I was wrestling with whether I should even cover it or not, but I decided I was going to. So this one is a downer, and people need to see it. We need to see this right in our faces. This is what we're being made to do in a commercial cult. And this is why you see people too afraid to come forward. One of many reasons, you know. And it's not okay for people to judge the people that are in multi-level marketing companies for doing this when they have no problem with celebrities endorsing this. You know, hold like somebody that is involved in a pyramid scheme like Monat to a higher standard. It's not okay. It should be, there's got to be way more compassion and empathy for these individuals. I'm at a loss. I hope this helps somebody out there. And to the person that has lost their animal, I'm so sorry. I can relate. And I hope you get out one day.